Stuff Among Other Things weekly podcast with your hosts Nicholas Miller and Bruce Stewart.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stuff Among Other Things, where we talk about stuff.
And other things.
I'm Nick.
I'm Bruce.
And today, we're taking you to the movies.
Ooh, yeah. So that's a really fun one. We're both big movie files, movie heads, whatever you want to call it, so this is going to be fun.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
How many movies did you think that we've seen? 485,000 billion.
Yeah, and you're a good 3/4 of that. Like your movie catalog is intense. It's quite extensive.
And it ranges from every single genre you can possibly think of.
Yeah, you're kind of all over the map. I touch base and it comes and goes. I guess a good way for the listeners to kind of get an idea of where we're coming from is, we'll like usual, we'll just talk about ourselves.
Pretty much. That's the beauty of our own podcast. We can talk about ourselves.
I don't care about what your favorite movie is, listener. All one of you.
We're just kidding. Tell us what your favorite movie is.
Yeah, actually. But in the meantime, we'll tell you ours. You want to kick off with that and throw some favorite movies?
All right. We were doing our top 5. The problem is, good luck narrowing down top 5.
Yeah, I had a really difficult time with that.
So I have a generic top 5 and then a list of honorable mentions.
Okay.
There is in no way, shape, or form any order to this.
Okay.
So it's just going to be straight up. I am a huge comedy fan, and when it comes to my favorites, just about everything is going to be comedy.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at, actually. Yep.
Yeah, so coming right out the gate, Step Brothers.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
You gotta have Step Brothers, you know?
and their fake testicles, yes.
Dad, it's Shark Week. Okay, moving on. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Ah, yes. Classic. That's on my list. So I had a feeling as we went down through here, my top 5 would be in your top 10.
Absolutely. Well, how would you not put that in any list?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like overrated and underrated at the same time, because it always hits these like top best comedy lists, consecutively all the time. Every list you look up, it's going to be on there, but it needs to be. It really does. It has to be on there.
I wish that they eventually would come out with the ending to that movie.
No, I think it's perfect. I think the fact that like that.
But I need to know do they ever?
It doesn't matter. That's you won't know because the movie's over.
I know, but. Oh.
Yeah, for the couple of you out there that haven't heard, I guess we should have probably at the very beginning of this said there's probably going to be some spoilers.
Spoiler alert, there's spoilers.
If you like movies, maybe don't listen to this until you've seen every movie. But, like the fact that they did like the little death scene and it was like this blip and you're like, what just happened? And then it becomes the plot. That was just comedy genius.
I absolutely loved it. Okay. Next up on my list is Young Frankenstein.
That's on my list as well. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Yes, I love Young Frankenstein. Just like the Holy Grail, it's one of those movies where I'm laughing a good 45 seconds before each punchline. It's just every single time.
If you know the movie by heart, it makes it that much better. Yeah. Like, why are you watching this? Because.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just have to make sure I remembered exactly how it goes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Moving along, Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw the movie.
The movie was absolutely perfect. It came out, what was it, 1996, I believe it was.
Okay.
And it was with Michael J. Nelson, so on and so forth. They riffed This Island Earth.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, that is the one movie that you need to watch.
So it's just an episode that they called a movie.
It really, they did in the entire movie. It was like 2 hours long. Okay. Essentially, for the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Side note for Bruce, it's actually on my Vudu account.
Oh, nice.
So
I will have to watch that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I always loved the show.
Yeah, the show is phenomenal.
Tons of them.
Whenever they said that they were coming out with the remake of it, I was actually
Patton Oswalt and everything.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that he was in it. I was mad.
Yeah, I was, because it's none of the original cast.
Yeah, exactly.
None of those guys, because they're doing their riff tracks thing.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just one of those whole things like, well, I'm the one that created Mystery Science Theater. It's mine. Like, you haven't been in it for how long?
Yeah, I mean, they hung that up a while ago.
Yeah, so like, for you to come back, but I like it. I've seen just about every single episode they have on Netflix.
I watched a couple of them and I enjoyed it, but I never got
they're really good. They're really funny.
Yeah, I like that you get the modern day references, because like the old ones are fun, but like there are some references I don't catch because I don't know what the Toyota commercial of 1996 was to catch that reference.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's nice to have updated on that. So yeah, I appreciate it. I love the original stuff. Absolutely loved it. And I like the riff track stuff as well. You and I, we went and saw at several years ago to local theater, they did the riff tracks of Sharknado.
Yeah, riff tracks live.
Yeah, and that was great. That was old school but new references, current stuff.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so that was good. So I'll have to catch this movie then. Mm-hmm. What else you got?
Getting away from the funnies, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, okay. That's we're pretty much done with my list. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, name one single scene that wasn't iconic.
Oh yeah, the entire thing. And not only that, but just how it was put together in general.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Tarantino has some of the best storytelling ever.
Oh yeah.
And him putting himself in the movie.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Tarantino.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool how it really brought John Travolta's career back. Because he was nobody at that. Oh, the Saturday Night Fever guy? And you're like, why is he taking a poop all the time? And you're like, oh, he's on heroin. But, I thought that was great for him. Obviously Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. But yeah, I thought that was great.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. And I do have a couple honorable mentions, as I was saying, getting out of my top 5. But I love the movie Hocus Pocus.
Oh, okay.
That's my go-to Halloween movie.
I have never seen that. I have never seen that.
Once again, side note, it's on my Vudu account.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got to be the best Halloween movie ever.
Okay.
I know there's going to be so many people out there that are like, no, it's the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I just thought, actually.
Yeah, and it's so played out. You know, all I can think of is like a 13-year-old that's covered in, Jack Skeleton gear. Like,
yeah. I mean,
we get it.
Yeah, I would say it definitely bridged generational gaps. Probably better than Hocus Pocus. I don't know that today's younger kids know much about that. Whereas,
I'm just saying, Bette Midler.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. All you got to say there. I have a couple others. The movie Sunshine.
I've never heard of that.
It is a phenomenal, I don't know how I want to call it, indie movie. But it actually stars Cillian Murphy. And the premise of it is that the sun is dying.
Huh.
And what they did is they decided to create this massive bomb using like the rare minerals and stuff like that's on Earth, and they're going to send it to the sun, stick it in the sun, blow it up, and get things going again. Basically,
like jumpstart the sun.
Jumpstart the sun.
Okay.
Well, they lose contact with the ship.
Okay.
Just kaput. Doesn't exist anymore. No one has any idea what happened. So they create a second one. And this is the only time they're going to be able to do this.
It's like the last chance.
This is their last chance. They've used every single mineral to get this thing going. To, get it launched into the sun.
Okay, I feel like this is a good place for you to stop and make whoever's listening to this go watch that movie. So you can tell me later, but I don't want to know right now on air what happens. But it's very intriguing. It's interesting. Is it a recent movie or?
I'd say it was probably early 2000s.
Okay, all right.
Once again, I have it.
Of course.
I want to skip through these next two pretty quick. John Wick.
Yeah.
I love John Wick.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Don't mess with his poppers.
A side note on that, I think I'm the only person that I've met that actually prefers John Wick 1 to 2.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
Okay, yeah, everybody loved 2 because it was like way more gore. I mean, there was just so many more.
Don't get me wrong, 2 was amazing. It was so good. But 1 just had that whole, revenge plot built into it.
Well, I think he, as a character, the way they set his character up in the first one was kind of taken away in the second. Like the first one, like nobody even wants to talk to this guy, say his name. You know, they don't want to even reference him. Like everybody's just like, oh my goodness, this guy's a bad dude.
We just screwed up. Yeah. That kind of deal.
And then in the second one, everybody's just kind of like, okay, I'm okay with shooting with him. And I thought he was a bit of a legend, but the action scenes were probably better in the second one. They had better choreography. Not that it was bad in the first one, but you know, just the shot count. Oh my gosh, shells going everywhere.
Absolutely.
But the first one, I thought that was just epic. Like the way I feel like it would be difficult to portray a character as being such a bad dude without being campy or ridiculous or over the top. And they did it. They did it such a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
He, in the movie, Keanu Reeves' character never once has to say how awesome he is. But when that cop shows up at his door and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know?
Evening, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you're like, oh, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait for the third one, Parabellum. It's going to be coming out here within the next couple months.
Oh, is
I
it?
think.
Okay, I knew it was coming up.
Yeah,
soon.
I don't know if it's going to be March or April. It's one of the maybe May. I don't know, but it's relatively soon this spring.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see how that plays into it.
Yeah.
Just a couple more, I promise.
Yeah, no, throw them at me.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty much out of my list. So.
My list is your list. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie. Yeah. Never.
I'm refraining from slapping you.
I don't know, man. Like, I haven't. I see like clips, but it's usually like I'm flipping.
You've never seen Raiders?
No, nothing. None of them.
Oh. Honey.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a movie night or something, but yeah, that's...
Dude, we're gonna have to have a movie weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah. Just keep it rolling. What else you got?
I got two more that are on my list, both Kevin Smith films.
Okay, nice. Yes, he's gotta be represented.
Dogma.
Yeah.
And Clerks.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I had to go this. So Kevin Smith is one of those kind of guys where I will watch every single thing that he's made. You know, he's that good.
Oh yeah.
It's just, when you think of the classics, you have to go Dogma. Yeah. You have to go Clerks. You know?
Yeah. Clerks is where it began, and Dogma is where you realize, this guy's serious.
And like, I've never met Kevin Smith.
Okay.
But I did get autographs from Jason Mewes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I have a couple from him. I got to meet Brian O'Halloran.
Yeah. He's my hero, man. Like, I remember years ago, I'm talking years and years and years ago. I was a car wreck for my Jeep, with my Jeep, and, sitting on the side of the road looking at my beat up vehicle and all the other cars and the paramedics there. And I was on my way to work on a day that I wasn't supposed to work. And like, in all of this and this anger and sadness and, today sucks, I just go, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. And like, to myself, and that like completely changed my attitude. I'm like, I guess other people have had crappy days too.
Right. But, anything that he does, I'm good with, but I had to put those on. So, in reality, it's a top 5, but it's a top 10.
Yeah. And that's fine. I had a hard time narrowing it down, which, you did say several of mine, but like, I had 7 on my list, and it was tough. What I really tried to do with my list was limit the creators. I was like, try to pick one from each director.
Yeah, really.
It was really difficult. So you hit, Pulp Fiction was at the top. And mine weren't really in any major order, but that was definitely the first one I wrote down. You hit Young Frankenstein. I also, next to Young Frankenstein, had Blazing Saddles on there. And it was a tie between the two.
Right.
Love Mel Brooks. Just, both movies were fantastic. We're trying to keep a family friendly, format here, so it's hard for me to quote anything from Blazing Saddles.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've tried to watch Blazing Saddles once. It was late at night, the kid's with me, she's sleeping, and then they start going off on their racist rant at the beginning.
Yeah.
And quite promptly, the television was turned off.
You have to, yeah.
Oh my god.
That is not a movie for the faint of heart.
I feel like you have to watch that under coverage with your half-face covered just so you can just hide in shame.
Volume down so that your neighbors don't hear the wrong thing out of context.
Subtitles with the curtains down.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It really is, Gene Wilder's, amazing, comedic genius, rest his soul. And
I have his autograph too.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, they're only going to go up in value.
Right.
Yeah, so I loved him in both. I loved him in Young Frankenstein as well. I don't know. Young Frankenstein edged it, but I wrote Blazing Saddles first, and then I remembered, like, oh, there's this other one.
There's a good slash in there.
Yeah, it is. So that was really cool. Side note, little trivia. Richard Pryor was originally supposed to play the sheriff in that, but it kind of didn't work out. He wasn't a good enough name at the time. So the producers went with, I can't remember the gentleman's name that did play him, but, either way, it ended up being a great movie.
Right.
Holy Grail, so you already said that. I'm gonna just skip right on by that. One movie, and I'm like you, I love my comedies. I really, if I'm going to watch a movie, the idea for me, the reason I'm really doing it is to kind of escape reality. And I don't really want to be, like, downtrodden. Right. Schindler's List is an amazing movie, but I'm not gonna call it my favorite because at the end of it, I'm going, I hate myself and everybody, even though I had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
So, I try to stick with the funny movies, but I did have a couple non-comedies on this list here. One being, excuse me, I burped. One being The Dark Knight from, Christopher Nolan, obviously, Christian Bale and all those guys. Fantastic movie. I just thought, like, I'm not the world's biggest superhero movie fan in the sense that I'm not a comic book guy. I just, first and foremost, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't read comic books, never read a comic book. I appreciate the stories once they're brought to the big screen, but I'm definitely a yuppie in that.
I'm the exact same way.
Yeah, like
I've never read a comic book.
I'm not hardcore. I'm not the guy that's there saying that's not the color of the socks of that character from issue number. I don't care enough for that. I'm just here for a good time and good story.
Pretty much.
So I don't know if there's anything out there about The Dark Knight that went wrong. It seems to be pretty consistently high on lists as far as superhero movies go. I just thought, wow, that's a 3-hour long movie and I didn't want it to end. I never once looked at my watch and was like, oh my gosh, when is this thing going to be over? It was...
Then, to me, it kind of got onto the whole, you're really rooting for the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't care about Batman. Like, I'm sorry, Christian Bale, but you were not the star of that film.
No, he really wasn't. No. Yeah, and as much as I liked Jack Nicholson in his original Tim Burton role of the Joker, Heath Ledger did a phenomenal job. And I'm probably beating a dead horse. I mean, there's tons of different reviews out there where everybody says the same thing. But I went into it not expecting a lot, and I came out of it just mind blown over that. Just everything about it. So many cool effects. And like I said, it kept me riveted for a while. I can't remember how long it is. It's close to 3 hours. And it was 3 hours of on the edge of the seat.
The effects were amazing. Like whenever they launched that tractor trailer.
Yeah. That's not CGI.
No.
They flipped the tractor and trailer.
Yeah, they really did that.
Yeah, and I thought and it was so impressive. And actually, a really cool thing about it is, I somehow managed to go see it right before it left theaters, because it was in theaters for like 4 months or whatever it was. I went right before it was out, and there were like 4 other people in the entire movie theater.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, like it was like my own personal showing, and nobody had spoiled anything. I didn't talk to anybody for half a year to make sure that nothing got spoiled.
Well, that's because we don't like people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that was really cool. Moving past that, also not even remotely comedy, and I was hesitant to put this on a favorites list. I'm still not 100% sure I want to say it, but I guess I do have to now. I don't love this movie for the content specifically, but the stylistic way that it portrayed it. And that's, the old Stanley Kubrick classic, A Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that movie, I thought, like, rape is very cringy. Even saying the word makes me cringe. But I was drawn into that because he didn't dance around it. I mean, it was obviously the main point of the movie. And Malcolm McDowell and those piercing blue eyes, the singing in the rain scene, that was all improv, by the way. Like,
really?
That was not scripted whatsoever. He just did it. And it was genius. And the way they projected the violence and ultra-violence and everything like that, I have an exceptional appreciation for Kubrick. I love his work. 2001, all of those guys. I wasn't really an Eyes Wide Shut kind of guy, but there's, the rest of it I really loved. And I didn't want to make a favorites list without including one of his, and I thought that one was the most riveting of the movies that he's put out, that really grabbed a hold of me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I I didn't even realize that it was okay to use this subject matter in this sense.
Oh,
and I'm
not.
watching it 20 years after it, it originally came out. And that movie was banned in the UK for like a couple decades.
It's not surprising.
Yeah, so that was on my list. And then for a much lighter note, to round it all out, I had to include a Coen Brothers film as well, just for the same reason. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard for me to have a list without some of my favorite directors. And the Coens, with Fargo and everything like it, I absolutely love their stuff. The Big Lebowski is the one that really stands out to me. Love that movie. It's fantastic.
I think the dude is probably one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah, Jeff Bridges and he did such a great job. And then John Goodman, he's an amazing actor. He can be whoever you want him to be.
Absolutely.
He doesn't typecast himself, even though he physically is typecasted. He doesn't typecast himself. And of course, Steve Buscemi. It even has Flea from the Chili Peppers. It's amazing as this weird German dude. So I thought that was a great movie, and I love the Coen brothers' ability to tell a story. And sometimes it is the driest, most boring story ever, and you're still on the edge of your seat. Like, nothing happened in The Big Lebowski.
No.
Nothing happened. Like, that whole movie was like, there's a misunderstanding, and then, somebody's kidnapping themselves, but they're really not, and in the end, I guess we'll go bowling. And that's it. It's over. And you're like,
I mean, it sounds legitimate to me.
Yeah. Julianne Moore's in it, so.
Yeah.
So those are mine, you picked a couple of them, and then, I added a few to it. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm with you on the comedy front. I want to escape from my regular world. Not that I don't like my life, but if I want to break free, I want to do it and chuckle.
Yeah, same here. I just feel like, I don't know, me and you we've known each other, 20 years, 25 years? I don't know.
It's been a while. We've been out of high school for almost 15, so.
Yeah.
So it's been 25,
yeah, 30
years.
Something stupid. So anytime, one of us would see a movie, hey, did you watch this? We're gonna watch this,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's, a lot of the movies on this entire list, this whole program today, you and I watched together, so.
Pretty much.
So that kind of wraps up our favorite movies and kind of gives you an idea of who we are and where we come from, as far as that goes. Now, another list that you kind of have to have as well in response to that is your favorite franchises, because I think it's really important. It's hard sometimes to pick a single movie if you like the entire franchise. Mm-hmm. And that being said, I don't fit in that category. I will come right out in front and say, I don't really have much for franchises because just like Indiana Jones, I haven't seen very many of them. I've never seen a Godfather movie.
Same.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Never saw a Harry Potter movie until this year when I sat down and watched them all. And, I enjoyed them.
They weren't bad.
Yeah, they really weren't. I think they got better as they went.
I still need to actually sit down and read the books. I've been told that the books are, so much better.
Yeah, as is the case.
Well, name one movie that's better than the book.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely. So, with franchises, it's a little tough for me to get into them because I haven't seen very many of them.
Right. Yeah, this took me a hot minute to sit down and decide, what I consider to be a franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I never even saw, any of the Star Wars movies until about 2 years ago. Whenever the new ones came out, when the Disney ones came out, is when I finally sat down and watched all those. And those, again, I enjoy them. I think I'm with literally everyone else in saying that the first three, episode 1, 2, and 3, but 4, 5, and 6, yeah.
Yeah, when they introduced Jar Jar Binks, yeah.
That was grating. That was tough. I'd heard so many references for years. That came out when we were in middle school or whatever it was, and I'd heard all these references over the years of people hating that character, and I'm like, it can't be that bad, but it really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
I despise everything about that character.
It was bad.
Misa really hates him.
Yeah, it was tough to get through that episode. I did for the sake of watching it all, and I don't know if you had the opportunity. You probably already saw the original 3 by the time that the 1, 2, and 3 came out, but I chose to watch them in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Specifically because I already knew all the spoilers.
Everyone talks
I've seen
about
Tommy Boy. I know whose father is whom. And so I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I thought it was really good, but I almost felt like 1, 2, and 3 kind of took away from 4, 5, and 6 and the fact that there weren't these surprises there. Even though I knew they were coming, I'm like, well, now it's all played out. I really loved Rogue One because it explained that side of the story, but then did I need that explained? Did I need to know that part of the story? Like, it was great, but I don't know if it was necessary.
Whenever they talked about it in, the original trilogy, the only mention that they have of it is, a lot of good people died to get these plans.
Right.
That's all. That's all you get.
And we have them. Go.
Yeah. And they base an entire movie off of it, and it was one of the best movies of the entire. Well, can you call it a franchise?
I don't know. It's like
I would call it the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. It really
once you get to that many different storylines that build into it, because not only do you have that, you have.
Like Solo.
Yeah, Solo, so on and so forth.
Which I haven't seen that one yet. That's the only one I haven't seen yet.
I have that one too, if you want to watch that one.
Okay, I'll look at that.
It's the same thing with Marvel. I would not call I wouldn't call it the Thor, trilogy.
Right, yeah.
Or the Thor universe. It's the Marvel universe.
That's exactly it. And that is actually the number one on my list of top 5 franchises is the entire MCU.
Yeah.
The entire thing, starting with the Hulk and to today.
And I mean, not to, make anybody mad, which I'm sure we're going to make someone mad, but when you look at movies, I'm not talking about, comic books or characters, but I think the Marvel universe is so much more cohesive than what the DC universe is.
Oh, yeah.
Because the problem is like Marvel, they have, a few inconsistencies going from movie to movie. You're also, skipping generations of people that are, watching these things, so on and so forth. Yeah. When it comes to DC, they come out with like 1 or 2 movies and then they reboot the franchise and try to tie it into the world.
Right, yeah, it was very forced. Like the whole DC universe was just rough for me to get by. And they had some great winners. I loved Wonder Woman. I thought that was a fantastic movie. I'm excited for the new one. I think it's what's called 1984 or something like that.
Something like that.
I'm excited for that one. I enjoyed Aquaman. I thought that was great because
I haven't seen that yet.
That's a weak character and they made him not weak. Jason Momoa is really cool. He's just a really cool dude. So it worked really well for him. But everything else, all the Martha stuff, I like Ben Affleck. I don't like him as any superhero, as it turns out.
I like Ben Affleck if he stays in the Kevin Smith world.
Yeah, that's it.
But I don't. Who decided that he was going to be Batman? I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah.
Where he just walked in. I'm going to be Batman.
Yeah.
And what? He's just like, yeah. I wrote the whole movie and everything. You don't have to do any work. I'll do it all. Yeah. And everyone. Someone high up in the chain said, "All right."
Yeah.
And then we get that.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was rough. And I can't say it's all his fault.
Unbelievable.
I was all for it. I got so behind the idea of it. I was like, open mind. Because, this is going back to the Nolan stuff, not to keep, bringing up a way better Batman, but, nobody expected Heath Ledger to do well. And then he did what he did. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to try to keep an open mind and think that this could be good. And I think if it weren't for all of the other issues they had where they're going back in and they're re-editing. I mean, they killed Suicide Squad but with just re-edits. It almost didn't make sense in the end.
It seemed Suicide Squad made me mad.
Yeah, I was jacked for that. I was excited. And that let me down.
This is exactly what I'm talking about with the problem with the DC universe is they're trying to follow a formula that Marvel has perfected.
Yeah.
Perfected. Whenever they did the freeze frames to tell you about the characters, they give you 1.5 seconds to read an entire page.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You had to watch the movie 3 or 4 times
to catch everything,
and you had to even press pause most of the time. Like Harley Quinn, suspected in the murder of Robin.
Oh, yeah. And you don't know that unless you're going back.
And then they introduce characters that they kill off just
immediately.
Yeah. Like Slipknot. Slipknot is one of the coolest characters ever. And
he was a bit.
Yeah. He existed for no reason.
Yeah.
In this universe. Come on.
Yeah. That's what they did. They tried to introduce too many and then they made a movie and then they were like, well, this movie isn't good enough, so they remade the movie and it made no sense.
How long was the movie? 2.5 hours?
Something like that, yeah.
If they would have left it at 3 hours, 15 minutes, it would have been perfect.
Probably, yeah.
Because they could have fit so much more into it, they could have explained things more, but they rushed it. Yeah. It's like they created this huge film and then someone high up in the chain looked at it and said, there's no way that this is going to work, you have to cut out 45 minutes worth.
And then they just put a blindfold on and started chopping.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was bad.
Someone got a pair of scissors and you just started hacking away. Quit it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really disappointed me with Jared Leto because I like Jared Leto. Like Dallas Buyers Club was a fantastic movie. He did a great job opposite Matthew McConaughey. I really loved what he did there, and I'm like, this is going to be good. Like, obviously he had the biggest shoes ever to fill.
Yeah. Well, the problem that he had, in my opinion, is he tried to be Heath Ledger. He didn't take the role as his own.
Right, yeah.
You know, like, I understand, like, he did, like, kind of his own thing. I like the idea of the gangster version.
It could have been done so much better.
Of course. But it's the stuff that he did off the actual movie set.
Oh yeah,
that
he was
made me mad.
weird.
Like he was mailing used condoms to his co-stars.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Right, and like dead rats or something like that, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Will Smith said that he wanted to, like, flat out kill him or something like that. And he has the money to do that, so you know. Like, quit it.
Right, yeah. You're not Daniel Day-Lewis. You're not you're not that kind of actor. Don't
exactly.
do it. Yep.
Don't envelop yourself in this. You're not that person.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from the DC bash.
Well, actually, real quick before we move on, I'm not going to bash them, but that is my entire list. So we have the 5 favorite franchises. I literally came up with 2. The MCU, which isn't a franchise. We already discussed that. And then the Dark Knight trilogy, which is like this little snippet of awesome in between some really crappy DC stuff.
Well, you could also call it the Batman franchise.
Yeah.
I would call it part of that.
Yeah, I mean, there are others within the Batman world. George Clooney was that was bad. But you know, everybody else did Michael Keaton was a great Batman. I loved him. And I loved him in Birdman later. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see that.
I never got a chance.
It was, I won't get into it too much, but it was so like on the nose with all of their characters. Like, Michael Keaton is playing a guy that played a superhero 20 years prior, and now his career is kind of washed up and he's struggling, and he has to kind of go back and cash in on that again for the sake of nostalgia, which Michael Keaton's done some really great stuff in the meantime. But
I love Michael Keaton.
In real life. But I thought it was like a really good take on him. But they did that with every character. Like Edward Norton's in it, and they cast Edward Norton as like this really kind of uppity actor that thinks he's better than everyone else and always tells the director what to do, and that's literally what Edward Norton does.
Well, yeah, that's Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we got the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I loved Edward Norton in a handful of things. American History X, he was so intense in, and loved him in, what's some of his other, Death to Smoochie.
Death to
awesome.
Smoochie was amazing.
Yeah.
That's a rocket ship!
That was fantastic.
What a dumb movie, but so good.
Yeah, it was so good. So I love Edward Norton in a handful of things. Fight Club as well. We don't talk about that apparently, but
that's the first rule. That's the second rule.
He didn't work as the Hulk or Bruce Banner.
Same.
But real quick before we jump into your favorite franchise,
sure.
I know we've been on this forever. I made a note here that I'm not a franchise guy. I like personally to have a story and wrap it up and call it. Like, make it good from the beginning. And I actually have a couple of notes here. Like, I thought The Matrix as a standalone movie was amazing. You know, like 1999 was the year of everything was amazing that year. But, I thought it was so good. I loved it. It was, in the end, the story ended. And then they brought out 2 more and I could have cared less. Like the Wachowski, sisters, sorry, I don't know which way they prefer that. I'm trying to be sensitive here.
I think they're brothers.
No.
Pretty sure.
Siblings. I don't even know if I said their name correctly. Anyways,
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, that's it. The Wazowskis. There you go. Anyways, that wasn't necessary. We didn't need the second and third one, but I love the first one. And another franchise that gets just pooped on all day long because it's god awful is the Saw franchise. But I loved the first one.
The first one was amazing because they challenged themselves to make an entire movie in a room.
They had no money. They had like $3 and a pack of like Doritos between the two of them, and they made a movie using compelling storytelling, period. That's it. That's all they had to work with. Somehow they got Danny Glover in it, but...
Well, I think the whole thing is, you know, it all comes down to money. Hey, this did really good. Let's just keep, keep wringing it out. Let's get some more out of it.
Oh yeah, cause like he dies in in the second one, and then again in the fourth one.
Honestly,
and then,
I don't know because I don't care.
Yeah, I stopped after the fourth or fifth one. I'm done with this. But the very first one was, without knowing, what was going to happen. I knew nothing of it. I just went, okay, I'll go watch this horror movie. Mm-hmm. I went in and I'm like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like that, I did not see it coming. I'm pretty bad sometimes at like reading the movie, like I was the guy at the end of The Sixth Sense that was like, Bruce Willis is dead. But,
oh my god, he's a ghost too.
yeah, that's it. So that was me. But, on Saw, they got me. They got me big. I'm like, I was jaw on the floor when he stood up. And I'm like, oh, that's storytelling. The rest of it sucks. So I'm not really a franchise guy so much as I prefer independent movies that are really good. Right. What about you? Do we have any franchises on your list?
Mine, we've talked about all of them. I now consider John Wick to be a franchise.
Yeah. I mean, once you get 3, I feel like that's it.
I put Star Wars down. Once again, we're going to call that a universe.
Yeah.
Same thing with Marvel. We're going to call that a universe. Indiana Jones.
Except for the one with Shia LaBeouf.
It started out great.
Did it?
Yeah, and then they got onto the whole thing with aliens. Oh, come on, guys.
Yeah,
come on.
I've never seen them, and I'm like, come on now, that's not indie.
Well, one that a lot of people don't talk about is definitely on my list. Child's Play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You like the...
Dude, I think they're hilarious. Brad Dourif is one of the funniest guys on the planet. Like, once again, it's another, villain that you're rooting for.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't care about Andy. I hope he gets Andy.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he follows him to the military academy, and he's replacing all the paint bullets with actual rounds.
Yeah.
I'm laughing my ass off. I thought that was the funniest thing on the planet.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the original one, and then I remember like Bride of Chucky a lot. I must have watched that a couple of times.
Bride of Chucky was good.
Yeah, it was funny.
I like Jennifer Tilly.
The franchise lost its direction. And that happened. That happened with every single good 80s and 90s horror movie. Like they all eventually become superheroes and forget why they're doing what they're doing. It happened to Jason Voorhees and everything. But but it was so, I like that they were just having fun with it. In the end, like they were like, you know what, this isn't serious. Nobody's taking it serious. Let's just have fun with it and not like suck though, because like some of the Leprechaun stuff got pretty bad there towards the end.
Right.
And I think they're coming out with another Leprechaun movie here soon, but it's like straight to streaming or straight to...
Well, I thought I'm thinking that one is like a reboot.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's the same one.
Oh.
But, along the same kind of line, guess what also is coming out this year? Child's Play.
Yeah.
They're doing that reboot. But I don't understand, like, the original was called The Good Guy Doll. Wasn't it?
I thought it was like My Little Buddy or something.
I'm pretty sure it was good. I know it's on my favorite franchise list. I do apologize. It's been like 10 years since I've seen any of these movies.
I'm gonna try to Google it while you're talking.
Yeah, that's fine. But the new one is called The Buddy, and it's Buddi.
Oh, okay, with an I. Okay.
Come on, guys. Like, I understand you're trying to do your own thing, but don't mess with perfection. I'm gonna reach through the screen and I'm gonna smack you. It's ridiculous.
Right.
I had to throw that on there. There's so many good ones. I would say anything before the year like 2001.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
like when they introduced like his son, who's always peeing himself and whatnot, it's like, okay, you're not going for horror anymore.
Just dropped my pen.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't find it. I don't really care now.
Yeah, fair enough. It's not that big of a deal, but at least we decided what we could call a franchise, what we could call a universe. Helpful advice for all 4 of you that are listening.
Hi, Grandma. So moving on from that, we're going to keep talking kind of about our preferences because I guess that's what we do here.
That's all we do.
We mix this up a little bit. You want to do best or worst? Which one you want to do first?
Let's do best.
Best? Okay.
Yeah.
You started off. Best movie you ever saw?
Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Reason being, like, I know that entire movie by heart. Oh my god. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I really do. I can't talk to you about it because I don't know anything about it.
Once you watch it, I'm going to start unleashing every single line of that movie.
Okay, fair enough. For me, for the best movie I've ever seen, and I didn't pull one off of my favorites list, even though it really probably should have been on there. I just kind of thought about it later, but a movie called Kung Fu Hustle.
I love Kung Fu Hustle.
So Stephen Chow, he created it. I think he did everything. He wrote it, he directed it, he produced it, he starred in it. Fantastic. It was just it was a full, complete package of a movie. There was drama, there was romance, there's tons of comedy, there's tons of action. It gets campy at times when it's okay and appropriate. They do the Looney Tunes style running bit. And I love the fact that they did not feel the need, or at least as far as I'm aware, to overdub it.
Yeah.
I've never seen I read the movie every time I watch it.
I think that I would protest the movie if they overdub it.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I'm completely, I don't lose the movie when I'm reading the subtitles. I still get all the nuances of the action and the actors and actresses. And I think that is, as far as a complete package movie, the best movie I've ever seen.
See, when I think of that movie, honestly, there's not a ton of dialogue. You're more or less, watching their actions. Oh yeah. And that's true storytelling.
And they're good. And they're so good. Dude, the scene when he throws the knife handle has me dying. That's one of those 2 minutes before the scene starts, I'm starting to giggle because here it comes. Okay, so on the opposite end of the spectrum, where are we at on the worst movie you've ever seen?
I have a tie for the top spot and an honorable mention. Okay. Me and you watched this one together. We were 13 years old, right around there. Fear.com.
I don't remember that.
It was about a killer website. You logged onto Fear.com and you died. We didn't finish watching the film.
We just walked. That was back when you had to go to the movie store.
Yeah. It's fun, interesting side note. We went to Foodland that night. We bought a pizza and then we covered it with 1.5 pounds of cheese.
That sounds like us. I have no recollection of it, but I'm on board already.
Yeah, and we started watching that movie. We made it 40 minutes in and we couldn't take it anymore because it was that terrible.
Oh, Fear.com.
Yeah, Fear.com.
Wow, okay.
Avoid at all costs. And the other one that's tied with it, the movie Rubber.
I was the main character is a tire?
It's a killer tire.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I've never seen it.
It rolls around, and when it sees something it doesn't like, it sits there, it shakes, and then whatever it doesn't like explodes. Ta-da! That's the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That could have been a commercial and it still would have been dull.
Oh my god. I made it further into that movie than we did with Fear.com.
Okay.
And afterwards, I think I had to wipe a little bit of drool off my face.
You lost some brain cells on that one.
Pretty sure. And then I have an honorable mention is, a lot of people are going to hate me for this.
Okay.
Full Metal Jacket.
The first half or the second half?
The second.
Yeah, there you go. Because
well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Full Metal Jacket. I don't care what anyone says. That's 2 movies.
Yeah, it really is. There's boot camp and then there's war.
The second that bullet goes through his face, that should have been the end of the movie. If you want to have your whole look, I'm a photographer in Vietnam. That's fine. You go do that movie.
Yeah.
But don't you dare mix it with this.
Yeah, Vincent and I don't never know how to say his name, D'Onofrio or whatever his last name. I don't care. Lead actor in the boot camp scene, Private Pile. Fantastic in that movie. And Ernie, I can't remember how to say his name either. The drill instructor. He was actually, I don't know if you knew this, he was brought in only to help with the movie. He was like an advisor on it, and he was the one that was supposed to help the guy that was hired as the drill instructor be a drill instructor. And he's just starts going off on this rant. And Kubrick catches it and he's just you've got the job. You're now the actor. I'm firing this other guy and I'm bringing you in. And, every insult he used was his own. He ad-libbed everything.
See, I would love to quote some of this on the podcast.
But we cannot.
Oh my god. We're borderline family.
Yeah. It's enough. Like, I would like to think that you would be okay with listening to this at work, working in your office.
I let a few little things slip.
Yeah,
but I'm holding back.
But you cannot quote Full Metal Jacket.
Not a word.
No, it's just beep, 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 beep. Golf ball, beep,
garden hose, beep.
Yeah, that's really it. So, but yes, I agree and disagree. I'm going to disagree with you more. I love the movie. I thought the war scene was a good second half. Obviously, not nearly as strong as the first half, but it showed the perils of war. Not nearly as well as Deer Hunter and things like that.
The problem that I have with it is the first time I ever saw it was on television.
Oh my god, what was it, like 4 minutes long?
No, it was. I think it was like on HBO.
Oh, okay. It's like if it's TBS, like
no, good dear God, no.
The commercials are longer.
Well, the entire movie is the war scene, but yeah. Whenever they started on it, I watched maybe like 15 minutes of it, and I thought that I might have accidentally sat on the remote and changed the channel.
Yeah, it is abrupt.
Yeah, and I think that's what made me so mad. I saw it in your movie collection, and I just started thinking about it, and I'm just like, that really irked me, Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And years past, like I have seen that movie probably a dozen times. The first time I watched it, I watched the whole thing, and I definitely got that, like, what is going on? Like, what happened? Like, is it over? Is it? And then I watched the whole thing, and then several times after that, I would stop the movie,
that's where I
be done, halfway through, and that's it. And I enjoyed the first half so much more. Recently, though, I've gotten back into watching the entire thing just for the sake of doing it. But I understand why you put that on your list. I don't like that it's on your list, but hey, that's why it's your list and not mine. Again, I have
it's not. I have it as an honorable mention.
Yeah, that's fair. So for me, I have two movies on my list, and the one I never actually saw much of it at all, but I'll get to that in a moment. Technically, my most despised movie that I ever watched, and I watched most of it if I remember correctly, was Freddy Got Fingered. I cannot stand Tom Green. I do not like that. His comedy is not. What
was with the hot dogs on the screen?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Oh, it was bad. That was a god awful. I think Rip Torn was in that or something like that. He must have been hard up for cash.
Who gave him a video camera and said, "Here's some money, make this god awful thing"?
The whole Tom Green thing, man. Like, and didn't he marry Drew Barrymore or he dated her or something? Like, how did he land an A actress?
Money.
I guess.
I'm gonna change my list. I'm taking Full Metal Jacket off, and I'm putting Freddy Got Fingered as number one.
Now, the other movie on my list, and I'll get to the name of it in a moment, but I gotta set you up on this. So, years ago, before I started doing the streaming thing with Netflix, because I've been a long time Netflix subscriber back in the day, getting my 2 or 3 DVDs a month, what have you. I loved being surprised. I watch a lot of movies not really knowing anything about them. A good one lately that I've seen that I thought was fantastic because it was recommended to me was In Bruges. If you haven't seen that.
I tried to watch it, I fell asleep.
Really? Like, the banter in it is so good.
When they say, it's just like, what do you do whenever you're like in the world's most boring city? Like, I'm sorry, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, and that's the point of it. You'll have to give it another try one day.
I'll try.
Maybe have a glass of wine with it. That'll help, ease through it. But Ralph Fiennes is great in it. Anyways, so back in the day, Netflix would do like we recommend. And I would just blindly add them to my list. And when it was a DVD list, I'd have maybe 100 movies on this list. So sometimes I would add something and I wouldn't watch it till 8-10 months later.
Right. By
the time I work through these movies, in my spare time. And, so one day I get this movie, and this is years ago, and I happen to be, hanging out with my mom, cause I'm cool like that. And I'm like, hey mom, got a DVD in the mail, let's watch it. And she's like, okay, sure, whatever. So I put this movie in the TV, or in the DVD player, cause that's how old I am. And we're watching, and the movie starts out, and there's like this scene of this guy in this room, and he's doing like some yoga type poses. I'm not really sure what's going on. It's not really showing it that well. And then it does show it, and I'm going to try to not be explicit here, but he was enjoying his own company in a yoga pose that put his face on the lower end of things gravity-wise, if you catch my drift.
Oh.
And the name of the movie is called Short Bus. And that was the most awkward moment of my life, because I had to pause the movie and then assure my mom that I didn't mean to rent whatever this is. She's just there like wide-eyed, and I'm like, I don't know. And I realized whenever they would do the Netflix recommendations, it would go by genre. So, if you liked a horror movie, it would tell you some more horror movies, detective movie, whatever it is. Well, I had been watching some independent movies. And, got a good couple independent movies, and I gave them the 5-star or 10-star, whatever it was. And so this was also an independent movie, and even though it had nothing to do with anything else I liked, it was like, oh, here's an independent movie as well you might like. And I did not, Netflix. I did not enjoy that.
Why did you let me rent this?
Yeah, that was it, man. It's called Short Bus. I have no idea what the movie's about. I watched 5 minutes of it, and I was horrified. Maybe it's artsy. I don't know. I don't care. You can't come at me like that. Like, no pun intended. You can't just go crazy right off the bat. And it did. And that actually is number 1 on my list of the worst movies ever, because I literally only watched about 5 minutes of it.
Right. It was a bad experience.
Oh, it was.
It's a great way to stay in shape.
Yeah. So you want to take a moment and, give a little intermission here?
Let's do a little intermission.
All right. So we have, I guess I should stop talking so we can do the theme song, huh?
I'd say so. Here's the theme song.
That's a fact.
And that was our theme song. I'm sorry. I still love that theme song. It's so dumb, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So for the fun fact of, I guess, the week, because it's a weekly podcast. I want to say the day, but we're not doing this tomorrow. Now, the paint that coats the White House, Buckingham Palace, and the Sydney Opera House are made by Keimfarben, a German paint company.
Okay.
And that's your fun fact of the week.
Cool.
Anyhow.
All right, back to movies. And I guess this whole thing is literally us talking about ourselves, isn't it? I don't care. That's what we're doing.
Pretty much.
Next up, I'm going to let you take the lead on this. We're going to dive deeper into our preferences here, because I think that's the best way to talk about movies, is obviously to talk about ones you like or dislike. Tom Green. What's your favorite, who is your favorite actor?
I have 2.
Okay.
When it comes to my favorite actor. Number 1, Keanu.
Yeah. Okay.
He was a great actor to an extent. And then you came out with things like, The Lake House.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That one was phenomenal. I think you would absolutely love it. It's about a guy that's living in this house, and he puts a envelope into his mailbox.
Okay.
And the little flag turns right back up. And it turns out he's talking to a woman that's living in the same house 3 years in the future. And they're communicating back and forth via letter in this mailbox.
Huh. Is it like a horror? Or
no, it's
like a drama?
Love/drama.
Oh.
It's a great film.
Huh, no kidding.
It shows you how versatile he can be.
Yeah.
Because then he does stuff like John Wick.
Yeah.
I
agree that he's versatile as long as he doesn't have to do an accent, because have you seen The Devil's Advocate? He's not a southern, he can't pull off. I love Keanu Reeves.
He was so young though.
And he's opposite Al Pacino. I mean, I would be sweating bullets to stand in the room with the guy, let alone act across him.
Right.
But I agree 100%. Great actor. He's not actually on my list, because I only have one on my favorite actor, but, he's definitely up there. So I agree, as long as he's not doing that.
Yeah. But like for me, what they do off screen matters almost as much as what they're doing on screen. Yeah. Because he just seems like he is such a good guy. Like he's such a cool guy. Yeah. I was reading a story today where there was this guy and I guess it was his wife. They were getting on a plane and they hit him with surprise baggage charges. They didn't have the money for it. Well, guess who was on the flight? Keanu Reeves. Guess who paid for all their travel?
Oh,
Keanu Reeves. Yeah, he's just
like I hear that he's very down to earth. Like he's just like a regular dude. He has like a regular house.
Did you ever see the video of him on YouTube when he's riding the subway?
He takes public transportation.
Yeah,
he has his own motorcycle company.
I know.
He takes public transportation.
But he's sitting. Like, I don't know how no one recognized him.
Yeah.
But he's sitting on the subway, and this woman gets on, and she's standing, holding the little thing above her head, just doing her thing. She looks at him, and he motions, do you want my seat?
Yeah.
He just gets up, holds on to the little thing, and she takes the seat. He's just a good guy.
Yeah, just a genuine good guy. I can appreciate that.
Like,
I can find that.
Let's face it, he's never going to hear this podcast. Yeah. However, Keanu, if you ever do hear this podcast, I'm going to take you out for a beer. Or whatever beverage of your choice. If you want to have cranberry juices, we will have the best cranberry juices ever. I like you.
Yeah.
Okay. And moving on from Keanu, number 2, Cillian Murphy. I know I already mentioned him before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's one of those type of guys where it doesn't matter what he's playing, he's going to absolutely kill it.
I'm drawing a blank. Is he the one that did the Scarecrow and
He is.
Okay. I'm on the page.
Same guy. One that a lot of people don't realize is he's also the main character of the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix.
Oh, I've never seen that.
You would like it. You would like it a lot.
Okay.
It's about a oh god, it's been a while since I've seen it. I'd like to say Irish. It's either Irish or British. Turn of the century, them in a gang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like them, like running bookies and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's several seasons long. I stopped watching, I think, like right around season 4. That's whenever, my daughter came into the picture. Didn't really have time.
Right, yeah, that makes it tough.
Right now we're going through the Umbrella Academy. I think I'm going to start rewatching Peaky Blinders as soon as we're done with that. I think that he's also equally phenomenal. He's, the main character of Sunshine, one of my all-time favorite movies. If you've never seen that, get on it. It's so, I want to say brutal. Mm-hmm. But I can't call it brutal. Watch it for yourself. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. So, how about you, sir? Who is your favorite actor?
So I'll get into my honorable mention first.
Okay.
And that's Daniel Day-Lewis. I mentioned him a moment ago about being a character actor and whatnot. He dives into roles.
Yes.
He becomes the role.
He is the role.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he will live, when he did The Last of the Mohicans, which actually isn't even close to my favorite movies of his, but when he did that, he lived as a Native American. When he did Gangs of New York, he lived as a New Yorker back in the 18-whatevers. Mm-hmm. When he did My Left Foot, I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I've never seen that one.
From the 80s or early 90s. He played a gentleman, a true story, he portrayed a gentleman that was, bound to a wheelchair. And he did that, in real life. He refused to get out of his wheelchair. He made the production company of the movie, people take care of him. To the extent of, by the time it wrapped up, he actually had cracked a couple ribs because of being in the wheelchair at such a crooked angle to portray this gentleman. So I just find that fascinating. It's kind of a jerk move on his behalf to just expect everybody to take care of him. But he becomes that character. He was Abraham Lincoln, and I thought that was fantastic, especially in Lincoln. I like that he portrayed Lincoln, especially Lincoln's voice, as historians typically describe him. He didn't do the baritone voice. He didn't have that booming voice that a lot of people want to attribute to him because, from what I understand, he had a high, kind of like me, kind of had slightly higher end, falsetto. I don't know what you want to call it, tenor.
Right.
And he did that, and he did a fantastic job. There Will Be Blood was amazing. Should have probably been on one of my lists already.
I actually thought about putting it on my list.
Yeah.
It ended up being like number 13, number 14, something in there. But it's just one of those where it's raw.
Yes.
I think that's the only way you can describe it. It's such a raw movie.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
He did a great job. And Paul Dano did a great job of keeping up with him because, I mean, my goodness, that's a hard actor to stick with.
Oh,
and he did a great job as well. But
the very end of the movie.
Oh my gosh.
I'm done.
Yeah, and that was it. And roll credits, and I'm like,
right.
Wow.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. That was so good. So yeah, anybody out there that hasn't seen There Will Be Blood, it's extremely, it's not a kid's movie by any means. There's a lot of violence in it. There literally will be blood. But the way he portrayed that character was just phenomenal. beyond him, he's my honorable mention because there's one actor that it's kind of funny whenever he first became famous off of one very, very particular movie. I chose to hate him, and I think it was like half, I was definitely jealous, obviously, but, I kind of thought of him as like, this guy's a joke, he's not a real actor, and since then, even looking back through his catalog prior to that into today, he is just an amazing actor. I think he does a great job, and that's Leonardo DiCaprio.
I like Leo.
Yes, I love him. Love him. And actually, I have a giant list, and I'm going to try to burn through it really quick because there were a bunch of movies that I really wanted to mention that he was in.
The Revenant.
Yeah, The Revenant. He finally got his shiny golden little statue guy. Wits Eating Gilbert Grape. So from what I understand, a lot of folks thought that he actually was mentally challenged because of how he portrayed it. He was a teenager. He was like 14.
He was
or
a
something.
youngin'.
I mean, Johnny Depp looked young in that movie.
He was a wee tot.
Yeah, and he did a fantastic job in that. And then like one of his next major movies was The Quick and the Dead against Gene Hackman. I mean, my gosh, that's a heck of a way to dive into the movies.
Exactly.
I even appreciated him in Romeo and Juliet, opposite Claire Danes.
I tried to like that.
I do not do well with Shakespeare. I can't just sit down and enjoy Shakespeare, right. And that was as close as I could possibly get to it.
Well, I just don't understand, like, it's set in, like, modern day California, but they're still talking like...
Oh yeah, it was the original script. I mean, like, they didn't change anything. When he says, hand me my longsword, and he gets, like, a shotgun or whatever it is. But, side note, John Leguizamo made that fun for me, because I like John Leguizamo.
I do too.
And then, what else do I got? Okay, so I already mentioned Gangs of New York because of Daniel Day-Lewis, and he did great in that. One movie that I loved, and still do to this day because I love Tom Hanks is Catch Me If You Can. I thought that was fun.
That was a fun movie.
Portrayed Frank Abagnale. I thought that was great. That was just a super fun movie. The Departed. With the entire amazing all-star cast plus Marky Mark. I thought that was great. From what I understand, the scene when he's in the restaurant bar, whatever it was, with Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson pulls the gun. If you watch, you'll see DiCaprio ever so slightly look off screen, like he's looking for maybe somebody else in the restaurant, and then he comes back to Nicholson. It's because he never knew that there was going to be a gun. Nobody did. Jack Nicholson brought a gun to that. Nice. Like, it had nothing it wasn't scripted in any way. He just like pulls this gun out and lays it on the table, and that's DiCaprio looking at the director, going,
right.
And then he maintained character, and that's what I loved about him. Another great movie that he maintained character in was Django Unchained.
Yeah, where he cut himself, man.
And smeared that blood over Kerry Washington's face. Yeah. I guarantee you, whenever they yelled cut, he probably apologized 9,000 times to her.
Guaranteed.
But it was perfect. It was such a good scene. When he looked down and saw that blood and clenched his fist and kept on rocking with all those major names sitting there staring at him. You got Samuel L. Jackson off to the side, Christoph Waltz, I don't know, Jamie Foxx, sorry.
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, he's alright. You have all these guys there, and he just works it, and he works it in, and that was fantastic. And then, really, really quick, obviously you have, Inception, Wolf of Wall Street, and The Revenant, and I thought all of those were great in their own respective ways.
Oh, absolutely. We could go over so many points. We ought to do a podcast on just Leo.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, we could.
We could cover an hour.
Yeah, I absolutely love him. And obviously that movie I was talking about that got him all big was Titanic, when that came out. And I was a teenager and I didn't care. Oh, heartthrob and all the girls, Leo. And I'm like, heck of that guy. He doesn't know how to act. No, he did.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah. And in everything he does. So that's actors. Where are we at on actresses? We cannot forget the ladies. Who is your favorite actress?
Anna Kendrick.
Oh.
I think she is one of the funniest people on the planet.
So she did like the singing movie, what is it, Pitch Perfect or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her. You're gonna have to.
Honestly, the thing that really got me onto it is she wrote an autobiography called Scrappy Little Nobody. And, whenever I was working at Lowe's, I had to do an overnight shift. It was one of the titles that was actually recommended to me. I'm like, I have a credit. I'll listen to this. You know, I put it on and I listened to it over the course of one evening. Mm-hmm. The entire time that I worked, I listened to this because no one else was around me. You know, I'm just doing my thing. I'm listening to it. And I get to hear her life story, and I don't think I ever stopped laughing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's done a whole.
So she's as funny as Amy Schumer thinks she's funny, like herself.
That's a good way of putting it.
Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Get on her Twitter sometime or get on her Instagram. You just, watch and see what she's posting. Yeah. She's so darn funny.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd love to meet her in real life.
Yeah.
I think she'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
How about you?
So if you ever had this awesome opportunity where your loved one, your wife in this case, obviously, have you ever had if you could make love to any celebrity, who would it be?
Okay.
That's the world's most annoying thing. I don't know, ladies, I don't know if it's like a normal thing for all, or maybe this is just something that's happened to me, but that's the most...
Are you asking me?
No, I'm not. I'm not asking you.
Leo.
Fair enough. In that case. But I don't know why, but sometimes like ladies feel like it's necessary to ask their man, like if you could, and it's a trap. It's obviously a trap. You never ever answer the question.
There's no right answer.
But for me, in all seriousness, not that I would necessarily love to have relations with this actress, but she's always my answer, not because for any sexual reasons, but because she's an awesome person and an awesome actress. And I would love to have dinner with her, a nice elegant dinner with wine, and I think it would be great, is Kathy Bates.
I love Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates, man. She is like my hero. I don't have a giant filmography like I did with DiCaprio to go through with it.
Well, everyone's always thinking of one movie when it comes to Kathy Bates.
Which one is it for you? Is it Misery?
It's Misery.
Yeah, that was number one on my list. Dude, when she put James Caan's leg in that, you have to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. And
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
have
alert.
A strong stomach. Cause it's not like blood and gore. It's like realistic. Oh yeah, but I mean like, it's not like...
It once again, raw.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when she did that, dude, I jumped. I got out of my seat. I am aware that I'm not in the world of movies when I watch them. I'm not afraid of a shark in a shark movie. I jumped.
Yeah,
it was intense.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm not gonna go into great depth and detail with it, but she hobbles a dude.
Yeah.
Like straight up hobbles him with a board and a sledgehammer.
And it is something, man.
It's painful to watch.
Oh, it is. So, I mean, and she's done other stuff as well.
Of course, the book and everything like that, it goes along with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Stephen King.
They were true to the King.
Yeah, it's Stephen King. So it's great writing, and she just portrayed the character quite well.
Right.
I loved her in other stuff. Not that we're talking about TV, but American Horror Story. She did a couple different characters on that. Yeah. That was awesome. Loved her in Waterboy. I absolutely love the little girls are the devil. I mean, she's just so fun in that. And she was in Titanic with Leo. She was.
Yeah, she was.
Good Lord. Yeah. And she has other stuff, fried green tomatoes and all that. I don't really care. I just love Kathy Bates. So that's my favorite.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
Heck yeah.
I wasn't sure if you're gonna laugh at me.
No. I agree with you 100%. We do have a whole lot more talking points. Just how far do you want to dig down into the rabbit hole?
Let's blast through the end of this.
Okay.
Let's blast through. So actually, and I don't have a lot of notes for the rest of this, so I'm pretty good on that. Real quick. Mm-hmm. Cause you do I don't know if anybody knows, Nick does all the outlines for this. This is his show. I'm just the sidekick.
Oh, whatever.
But in the outline, you specified best movie genre, and I didn't know if you meant favorite or the literal what we think is the best, because that could sometimes be two different things.
Actually, I don't even know what I meant. I guess either or.
Okay, well, what about you then?
Me, I think that my favorite has to be comedy.
Yeah.
Best, I'm a big fan, not necessarily horror.
Okay.
but thriller.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is an absolute distinction between the two. Not everybody realizes it. Not everybody catches it, but there's absolutely a distinction, and I am 100% with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's like a time and a place for, a Jason Voorhees,
Yeah, kill and slash. Yeah.
Exactly. But then you watch a movie like, what's one of the best thrillers in there?
I'm drawing a blank.
Joyride.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen Joyride.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. No.
These kids decide that they're going to have some fun one night. They get on a CB radio and they trick a trucker into showing up at a motel with roses, the whole 9 yards, because he's going to get lucky with a woman.
Yeah.
And they laugh it off. They thought they had the greatest time. Well, the trucker decides that he's going to get revenge, and he goes after these kids.
Okay.
Oh my! I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about that movie.
Chicken skin,
dude. It was so good. Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure they did like Joyride, 22, Joyride 47.
So they watered it down.
I'm sure.
Okay.
But the first one, before they caught a glimpse of fame and whatnot, that was absolutely amazing.
And I just did a quick Google search because I knew there was one. I couldn't put my name. I couldn't quite finger the idea here, but. Get Out.
Yeah.
Get Out was an amazing thriller.
Oh my God.
That had me.
Get Out was so good.
Enjoyed that.
What an interesting concept.
Yes. Yeah, it
Good
was.
Lord. Doesn't he has a new movie coming out this year.
Yeah, another one. It's called Us. Another thriller.
Yeah.
And it's going to be intense.
I've never seen, I don't know if they have a trailer out for it.
They do.
Anything.
So the general concept, and I know nothing of it other than watching the thriller, is like this family goes on vacation. And they kind of run into their doppelgangers, and they're crazy AF. Like their doppelgangers are like out to kill and replace them in the real world.
No,
and that's it. That's all I know about it, and I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it too.
Yeah, so
I'm going to thoroughly enjoy that.
Yeah. Okay, well that's fair, and I'm actually in the same boat as you. Favorite genre is comedy, 100%. Again, I've said it before. I want to get away. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy life.
Right.
I want to laugh at it. Best. And I look at it more from an acting standpoint. I think dramas are your best movies because they elicit the best acting. You can't.
There's no sugarcoating.
Yeah, you
can't hide
you're
behind
either good or bad.
Yeah,
like
there's no middle ground.
There are some Will Ferrell movies they're not the greatest. I guess the new Watson movie, the Sherlock Holmes movie,
didn't it get like a 9% on Tomato?
Bad. Yeah, like he got a Razzie out of that or something.
I want to see it though.
But yeah, exactly. Will Ferrell is and John C. Reilly. They're still extremely funny. And I'm sure there's parts of that movie that are funny. So you can kind of walk through and you'll be bored for a second. They go, ha ha, and then you'll be bored for a second or whatever, but you can kind of get through it. You cannot do that with a drama. No. You have to be on point with your acting, with your storytelling, with your editing. I mean, everything has to be on point for it to work out well for you. So I think best genre, not my favorite genre, but best is going to be drama for that reason.
I can definitely agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So next up, because we're going to blast through all this, you made a good point. Is there really such a thing as a chick flick or a man film? What do you think? What is your take on it?
Absolutely. There is definitely things that are they're pandering to audiences.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like
everything.
I'm going to date myself here. Like I remember whenever National Lampoons was about Chevy Chase, and now it's just, hey, look, scandalous bikinis.
Yeah, skin.
Oh no!
Like the last OK movie was definitely Van Wilder. Everything after that was not worth watching.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly. He saved that movie. Anybody else would have been in it would have been terrible.
I don't know why they decide to keep going about that. It's like, come on, guys. You can't be getting any extra money out of this. Like, everyone has the internet. We don't need to have...
Right. Yeah. You're doing your very best to do PG-13 pornography, and it's terrible. Like the guy that plays the dad on American Pie is in a lot of them now. I can't remember his name. Gene something? I can't remember.
I'm gonna call him Mean Gene.
That'll work. Well, yeah. So yeah, that's understandable, and I feel the same way. And even on the ladies' side, all the Nicholas Sparks stuff, which of course there's books first, but then like the Notebook and things of that nature. That's obviously I don't don't want to watch rom-coms or romantic movies in general.
I mean, there
are a couple, but not very many that I can get through.
They really do pander to a specific audience.
It's the Hallmark Channel on the big screen, and the same thing I think goes with men's films, which is funny because when I think of the term "man film," quote unquote, I think of movies that I, as a male, human species, don't actually usually appreciate, and that's action films. There's a couple of them out there that I like, but like The Expendables and every movie that build up to the point where they could actually make the movie The Expendables, I could almost care less about. I like Jason Statham, and Bruce Willis is Arnold. He's okay. The Terminators were fun, but like I'm not a giant fan. Stallone, same thing. Could have really cared less about most of his catalog. Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that's going back a minute. Steven Seagal, all those guys.
It's not just, The Expendables, where it was basically just Sylvester Stallone just going through his contacts.
Oh yeah, just going through his phone.
But like, there's so many, like, another franchise, the whole Fast and the Furious thing. What are they up to now? Fast and the Furious 73?
Yeah, and well now they're doing, spin-offs of that. The Rock and
now there's a Hobbs and Shaw coming out.
They're gonna have their own.
Like, come on.
I love how like they're bad guys and then they're good guys depending on which movie.
To be honest though, I'm actually excited for that because if The Rock's in it, I'm going to be a fan of it.
Yeah, Rampage was not a good movie, but I watched the entire movie.
I haven't seen Rampage yet. I need to.
It's not good, but you'll watch it. You'll watch the whole thing, and then when you're done, you'll be like, that was fun.
Yeah, pretty much. As long as I don't feel like after I get done watching, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. There are movies that I watched that I'm like, that was a waste of my time. That wasn't one of them. It was fun. It was. I think he's typecasting himself right now as we speak. I think Dwayne Johnson is like, lately, and you've seen like the memes where like every movie he's in, he's like in the woods and he has a tan shirt.
Yeah.
So he's got to be careful with that. But hey, I mean, he's making money doing it too, so maybe he doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, he laughs on his way to the bank.
Yeah. So, and his stuff with Kevin Hart's fun too.
Yeah, you ever seen them go back and forth?
Oh yeah,
on
those guys are like
Instagram?
My favorite friends. Yeah.
Kevin Hart posted a photo of him and his new Ferrari. I can't remember what the caption for it was, but The Rock posted on it, and it said, hey, I'll go ahead and I'll buy you the booster seat. And then he responds back, you're just mad because your gorilla-looking ass can't fit into this thing.
Right, yeah. That's a perfect play off of each other. Those guys are fun and genuine.
Exactly. Yeah. Like they're actual friends, and I like that. I think that's why I like The Rock so much, is like off screen, he's that kind of guy.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. He's very humble. He knows where he came from. He knows that he built himself to where he is. The dude puts in 25 hours of work a day.
Oh my god.
There's no off switch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip around here at the end, so don't look at your paper. I'm just gonna kind of tell you where I want to be, because I know where I want to end this. Real quick, do you prefer cinema or at home?
I prefer at home.
Okay.
Reason being, I hate people.
Yeah.
I had a really, really bad experience when I went to see The Revenant. Went to watch it opening night, and the guy behind us, he just like, during the whole time where he's being, obliterated by the bear, the guy behind is like, he's kicking the back of my seat. Like, there's so many times I wanted just to turn around, pull out my knife, and just go to town on this dude.
Just like do to him what the bear did to Leo.
Exactly. It's
bite his head.
Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that people are the worst creatures on the planet.
Right. Yeah.
They're absolutely terrible.
Except for our listeners, which we love and adore.
You guys are awesome.
But everybody else
sucks. Exactly. Yeah. Anyone that doesn't know about our podcast potentially sucks.
Yeah.
Unless they listen to us. I like the comfort of my house. Mm-hmm. I like the idea that if I need a bathroom break, I can hit pause.
Yeah.
I can be, just surfing on my phone if, the need arises. Like I like not being tied down to something.
Okay.
You know, especially with me having, you know, you have a 2-year-old daughter as well. You know, if she needs something, like, we're going to, you know, go and take care of what that kid needs.
I've come back the next day to finish.
Exactly.
Movies, you know, where I'm like, okay, back to where I was.
Well,
back up a little.
I told you we were watching The Umbrella Academy. We were watching, I think we can do about an episode and maybe a half at a time. Either A, it's bedtime, B,
or dinner, or bath time. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So, I mean, I like the idea. I like the huge screen. But at the same time, I have a 55-inch television in my bedroom. If I want to have the same experience, I can just scooch my bed right in front of the television.
Yeah.
And have it filling my entire field of view.
Exactly, yeah. Within your perspective, today's larger screens, you know, we have the 55 as well. It's close enough. It's
pretty much.
You know, it's still pretty immersive. And they have great home entertainment systems and theater systems and sound systems and whatnot and subwoofers.
Yeah, and my 4K is going to beat the resolution of that movie theater.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, yeah, as things have been getting HD and then now UHD, I realize at the movie theaters that, like, it's not visually that great. You know, like it's grainy and I mean, you know, they've switched to digital in the last handful of years. They had to.
They've gotten better, but at the end of the day, it's still projection.
Yeah, it's still projection. I'm not a big fan of projection. So I'm with you. Ultimately, I prefer home. I prefer a good cinema experience, and it's really difficult to get those. Well, for the same reason you said.
For me and you locally, we have to drive an hour to get anywhere that has a decent
yeah, we are in the sticks.
Theater.
Yeah,
you know, we do have a local movie theater, but it's one of those. It's one of those kind of deals where you walk in and you hear.
Oh yeah, your feet stick to the floor.
Yeah.
You're really inspecting the seats before you go.
Exactly, like. What is the stickiness that I'm sitting in? Is it really soda? You know?
Yeah.
We don't know. So there's a travel aspect you have to really consider to have a decent, cinema experience.
Yeah.
Like, you have to plan ahead.
Yeah, and I think cinema, it's definitely, like you said, people ruin it for me. We had the same experience. Actually, Rogue One, when that came out, it was bad. It was really bad. A lot of kids in there that just, were goofing off. I don't know what the parents expected their 6-year-old to do during that.
I think their expectations were like, we love Star Wars, you're gonna learn to love Star Wars.
But don't do it in public. Don't do that to me. I'm not there to get your kid to love it. Do that at home. So yeah, we had some experience with that. There are definitely specific movies that work really well. One that comes offhand, which I've never had the chance to see this, but I know it's a big event for folks that love it, is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I love Rocky.
You get people that, they dress up and they go, and it's an event, and then you can have that camaraderie with the people in the theater with you.
That would be an exception. Like, I would love to. Why isn't that in my top 10 movies?
I know. I didn't think about it until I just said it out loud.
But that's one that I'll watch at home. But if I have the opportunity to go to a theater and watch all these people, show up in drag,
that would be awesome.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, Tim Curry, Meatloaf, all those guys. And then there's obviously the specific movie theater experiences. One that I love, IMAX. Mm-hmm. I love IMAX movies. I don't think there's enough of them. And I'm not talking about like when they take a movie and put it on IMAX.
When it's actually filmed
for
IMAX.
But yeah, I really love, because I'm a big documentary fan, I love that kind of stuff where, it's great. One movie experience I loathe, and it's really just because I can't do it, is 3D. Mm-hmm. I can literally get headaches, nausea.
Well, notice how they've kind of, taken a step back. It's
like
they're still doing a lot of stuff whenever it comes to 3D movies, but it's not like, hey, this movie's in 3D and 3D only, and then you can possibly watch a 2D version.
Right, yeah. Between 5 and 8 years ago, it was everywhere, and then including the TVs. That was the big thing with TVs.
Exactly.
Is that people were buying these, and I feel bad for anybody that spent the $6-8 grand on some of those big screen 3D TVs and their silly glasses, and now they're worth nothing. Well, or they're not that great, I should say.
Whenever a new technology comes out, you really have to see if it's going to last.
Yeah.
Like, remember whenever they had the whole battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD?
Yeah. Who bought the HDs? Sorry. Yeah, so I think they have their pros and cons. I love a good cinema experience. I would love to do a drive-through, a traditional old school drive-through, or drive-up, whatever is it, I guess it's called drive-through. Movie, outside in your car.
Oh, drive-in.
Drive-in, not drive-through. I thought
you're good.
McDonald's and watch a movie.
That would be amazing.
So yeah, I'd love to do a drive-in. Well, I think I did when I was a kid, but obviously not within recent memory. So there's different aspects of it. Obviously the movie and the theater industry is hurting bad now because, like you said, streaming is handy. Better visuals, but you can control the movie. You can have your subtitles if you need, if you're, hearing impaired or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was talking to you earlier about it today. The new Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, just came out on digital today. It was in theaters not even a month and a half ago.
Right.
And I now have a 4K version of it that we're, going to watch tonight.
Right, yeah, and that's absolutely, especially as a parent, especially a parent of young kids, I used to watch every movie when it came out.
Same.
Until 2 years ago. Every single one. If it was worth watching, obviously. Every great movie, we would go and we would watch, and it was an event, and we had a great time. And now we have kids, we ain't got time for that. There is no way. You gotta get the sitter, or the, grandma in this particular case. And, it's such an absolute hassle that we just don't do it. But because of streaming and everything like that, we have that option of, like you said, a month later, just wait. Wait.
Like, why should I have to, get my fat tuchus out of bed and have to, try and get all these plans situated just so I can have for us, a terrible movie experience because we don't have, the greatest of movie theaters.
Right.
And if I can just, put it to the side for a month or two, I can have, the movie in the comfort of my own home. I can lay down. I can watch it comfortably.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want to. So,
yeah.
I think that, movie theaters are still going to be, of course, doing well. They're still going to be, going strong.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be a dying technology.
Yeah, it's really going out. Nobody's going to go out. It's like arcades,
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody has Xbox and PlayStation. Why would they go to an arcade?
Yeah,
It's the old school skee ball and stuff like that, but that's niche stuff. That's at boardwalks and things like that. That's part of that whole experience. But and actually that really drives me into our last topic. We're gonna end it with this one, and that's the difference between streaming, Netflix, Amazon, and things of that nature, all those different ones, Hulu, versus going and renting a movie. Obviously we can't have this conversation without mentioning Blockbuster, rest in peace Blockbuster. But you also have, to this day, there are still local mom and pop video rental stores. Bless their heart. I hope they do well. I unfortunately don't.
There are some places where you absolutely need them.
Yeah, bandwidth issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're really out in the sticks, like we're in the sticks, but it's not like some of these people
right.
where you have to drive like 3 hours to your next small town.
Yeah, or do like the HughesNet, like satellite.
Yeah, exactly.
Internet that's super slow and extremely expensive and like capped after like checking your emails kind of limit.
Yeah, I once again dating ourselves. I loved going to the movie store, and seeing what new releases were out.
Check the rack, run up to the rack.
Yeah, and see if your movie was, in.
Ah, crap! They have 5 copies and all 5 have been rented.
Exactly.
Now what am I gonna watch this weekend?
Like, the kids are never gonna know that experience.
Flip
but
off, that'll do.
At the same time, like whenever I'm at home and like I pull up my Vudu account, I can pretty much watch just about any movie ever made right then and there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty darn nice.
Oh,
it's like, I don't want to watch this. Let's see here. What kind of genre are we going to do? Hey, we could watch this. Like, it's like an Apple streaming service. You have every single song ever made at your fingertips. Like, you'd be dumb not to think that that's the superior of the two.
Now, I have a counter moment, I guess you could say, with this. I have to say that, and there's probably a lot of nostalgia in this. There's probably a lot of what is now like, oh, that was neat, was aggravation at the time, but I feel like physical rental locations, and this could even apply to Redbox, which is, that's still a thing today, and
it is.
So, I think going to a store more so than Redbox makes you choose. I have this big issue where I will scroll through Netflix or Amazon or what have you for a while.
Right.
I'll scroll for 25 minutes and then not really pick anything. I'll flip to like a music channel and just play on my phone. Whereas back in the day, if you went and you ran up to the new releases thing and
it's like, these are your choices. You have to pick
exactly.
something.
Even if the one you were hoping for is gone, you're there. You're going to pick something. You're going to go through and you'll still make an event of it. And the physical rental, especially the monetary side of it, is something. It's going to make you choose to have that experience. See, with Netflix, you can. I hate to keep bagging on them, but they're pretty bad at it right now. You flip forever, and then maybe you just settle on something. You know, like I've seen Blue Planet a couple of times now. It's a great documentary, but I don't watch it anymore. I just listen to it while I'm playing on my phone because
it's light in the background.
Yeah, it's exactly. And you don't take the time to have that experience as you may have in the past. Like renting the movie and obviously more so going to the movie theater is going to make you enjoy that moment. I feel like renting a physical copy of the movie will make me pay attention to it more because I don't have that option of, I can catch it later. I'll finish it next week when I have a moment. It's like, I gotta get this thing back, especially Redbox, like they charge you by day or whatever. Right. I gotta get this thing back. I need to focus on this now and let's grab some popcorn, let's grab some sodas and have a little family fun.
Yeah, you're making an event out of it. But as a counterpoint, I am horrible when it comes to remembering things. Oh yeah. There was an experience, I can't remember what the movie was, but rented it and forgot that I had it. Found it 2 months later.
Oh my goodness.
And with the late fees, I could have bought the movie 3 times.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're lucky. Yeah. I actually, and I'll have to check with him to verify, I'm not going to say names, but I had a relative years ago, he's older, back in his college days, rented a movie, and I can't remember the exact way the story went, but from what I understand, his roommate was supposed to return the movie to the rental place and didn't for him, and it went like an entire summer.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he owed, it was like 4 figures in late fees. It was an absolute disaster, and it ended up like hurting his credit. Later on, like, fast forward 15, 20 years and he's looking to like buy a house and it comes up in his credit report that he didn't return this movie. So I guess there's obviously definitely that downside to it, and it goes beyond the, crap, I gotta pay another $1.25 at Redbox. Right. It can get excessive. So streaming obviously isn't that, but then you also have the fees, you have the monthly fees you have to keep up with. I've heard of people, I've never really done it, but you hear people that, I ran Netflix for a while and then I canceled that and I did Hulu for a while and I'll do one at a time, and then if something comes out I'll cancel back and forth. I don't bother, I just keep watching.
I don't either. Like I really don't get into Hulu because Hulu is all about watching, primetime television shows that are out.
Oh, is that their?
Yeah, it's like you can watch like the latest, Big Bang Theory, and it's like I will not pay you money to watch that.
Yeah, and like with me, and I know you use one as well. I have a Roku because I'm one of the 12 people that have a Roku. You're the other one. I have the ability to download shows if my cable that I never watch but I pay for monthly. If I subscribe to that channel, I can download that app to Roku. So like, I never get the chance to tune into, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO because it's usually, like you said, bedtime or something. So I always catch it like the next day or so. We ended up watching it yesterday evening, on my HBO app, which I access for free because I already have HBO through my cable. It makes it handy in that sense, that I can do that, but I don't foresee I don't really watch TV, and we'll get into that. We'll have a TV.
We need to have a TV.
Yeah, we'll have a TV episode. I'm not going to talk about that a lot today, but I think ultimately streaming has its goods and downsides. I think the goods outweigh the bads for convenience, as long as we don't forget to take the time to enjoy the movie. Have you frickin' watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang yet? Because I let you borrow not Blu-ray, the DVD, because I've had it that long, like a year ago.
It's sitting in my office.
Okay, you need to watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Well, to be fair, they did put it on HBO for their the streaming side of it, like HBO Go. I think I watched half of it. Brady started fussing. I watched half of it.
Okay, well, watch the whole thing. It is awesome. And
I like Robert Downey.
Yeah, he's great.
He is great.
And I think I think we're going to call it. I think this is the episode. This has been the movie episode.
Wow, we've gone for 90 minutes.
I know, yeah. We're trying to keep these at an hour. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you just enjoyed it. I hope we gave you an extra half hour of fun, happy times.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess I shouldn't apologize for delivering content. You know what? You got a bonus this time, and good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You better enjoy that bonus.
Yeah. So this has been the movies, and where are we going next week, man?
Next week we are going to go deep. We've done, a lot of, fun, happy go episodes, so on and so forth. Next week we're going to hit some pretty deep topics. We're going to dive in feet first.
Okay.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about time.
Yeah, you guys can see a little bit of our souls next
week.
And
another thing is next week we are going to be streaming live on Facebook.
Yeah, so you can look at us while we do this.
Right, and see you can compare. Why is Nick's head so big? And I'm pretty sure Bruce is a mountain man now. And
yeah. For anybody that didn't catch the pictures of us, they might not be picturing us the same way. At least we won't be standing. That would be awkward.
Yeah, absolutely. But make sure you tune in for that. If you're living under a rock, it's facebook.com/Stuff Among Other Things. And of course you can get there on stuffamongotherthings.com. So you have any last words?
No, man. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.
This has been the Stuff Among Other Things weekly podcast. For a complete list of episodes, visit us on the web at stuffamongotherthings.com.